Welcome back. Thank you for joining another episode of the Conquest Podcast, where we help you conquer thyself. I have the pleasure of being your host. My name is Rashid, and today we are going to talk a bit more advanced today. It's not advanced as far as theory per se. It's more so advanced as far as acceptance and as far as your path upon the journey. So it's more so for an advanced practitioner. And when I say advanced, I don't mean advanced in the aspect that you're on, 340 days, or if you're on day 2, because you may be on day 2, but you've been on day 370. Or you may be on day 2, but you recognize that this journey is more than just retaining your semen. And that's the crux of what I mean when I say this is for advanced practitioners. Advanced in the aspect that you understand that this journey, to really maximize the benefits you get from it, will require more than just simple semen retention. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about 3 things mainly. They're all related though. One is that we want to talk about the urges, that they're actually a sign of energy in your system. In order to really discuss that, we need to be aware that we have an energetic system and really just go ahead and accept it. Don't really be focused too much on what we were taught or what we believe. We have to start to, and this is why I say advance, once we start to develop the relationship with the energy, we start to think that this energy must flow through its own system. So there must be an energetic system. And whether we were taught that or not, inherently we know that the further along the journey that we go. But we'll come back to that. The other thing I'd like to talk about is I'm going to give you some practices to help you cleanse and strengthen your energetic system, and perhaps even something for your nervous system as well. But firstly, let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, I can't even begin to talk about the urges in depth yet. So we'll talk about them briefly. Then we'll come back to them after we talk about the energetic system. But let's just talk about what people say on Nofap. What they say is that they're retaining their seed. They're retaining their semen, or most commonly you hear them say what? And this is what I'm getting to. They say, I'm retaining my sexual energy. Energy, energy, energy is the key word there. I'm retaining my sexual energy. And as you go along the path, you actually get signs from the energy. And oftentimes these signs are misunderstood, misinterpreted, and we just let it go right by us. So I really want to go ahead and talk today about a few things that I ask that if you're an advanced practitioner, open your mind, or if you'd like to be an advanced practitioner, open your mind and recognize that you want to maximize everything you can get out of Nofap. In order to do that, it's better to understand exactly what Nofap is. And you can start with the very thing that you've been saying, which is you're retaining your sexual energy. That's a good start. But now that you're retaining your sexual energy, let's think logically. That must mean that there's more energy inside of your body. And if there's more energy inside of your body, there might be some signs or symptoms of that. Because if you're retaining your sexual energy, where is it going? Let's say you're transmuting it. Do you think it's all going out? Well, I think we would agree that it's not all going out. So where is it going? What is it becoming? But first, let's think for a minute. Anything that has an energy that it uses actually has an energetic system. Think about it. You have your brain, spinal stem, other members, what's that called? Your nervous system. You have your circulatory system, which circulates blood throughout, and that includes the heart. The heart is a part of the circulatory system. You have your respiratory system, right, which helps you breathe, right? And it even not only helps you breathe, but it helps to transmit, oxygen to other parts of the body. You also have what we call your immune system. And what does that help do? that helps regulate and fight back against pathogens inside the body to keep the body immune to things, right? So you have these different systems in the body. If you have an energy, perhaps you have an energetic system in the body. So this whole thing about retaining semen, right? It's semen retention. I'm retaining my sexual energy. Sexual energy is often called the most potent of all energies, the root of all energies, because it's through that energy that all things are created. So it's technically creative energy, right? But within the body that has all these different systems, your musculoskeletal structure and system, wouldn't the body perhaps have a system where it regulates the energy? You may not have thought about it, but it has systems for everything else. It has a system for your breath. When each day when you talk, when you say I'm breathing, do you say I am tapping into my respiratory system, or do you just breathe? When someone has high blood pressure, do they say I have high blood pressure, or do they say there's an elevation in my circulatory system? So what I'm saying is that these systems are always there. These systems always exist, but perhaps they don't get the amount of attention that they should. And one system that definitely does not get the amount of attention that it should is your energetic system. So I want to talk to you about that a bit right now because it's going to help you dramatically on your journey. First, let's have awareness and acceptance that you've been retaining this sexual energy. This sexual energy must somehow be in some type of energetic system. This sexual energy, which is really just creative energy, is often felt where? It's felt down around your sexual organs. So that's why I say it's really not sexual energy, although I'm going to continue to call it that. It's really creative energy that is by your sexual organs. So your lack of understanding causes you to misinterpret it as sexual energy. But anyway, so you know that you have energetic nodes throughout your body. Think about it. Anything else that has an energetic system also has energetic nodes. And our ancestors have found out that we also have energetic nodes as well. And they happen to call them chakras. And I'm sure you're aware of it. If you're not, welcome. Welcome to the chakra system. These energetic nodes, there's 7 major ones, and they happen to go up your spine. That's why in yoga they say the age of a person can be measured by the flexibility of their spine. If you actually look at the human being, it will be quite surprising to you. You'll see a brainstem and a spine, and everything's growing from those things, specifically the spine. And up and down this spinal column, you have your energy centers or chakras, your major energy centers. There's also an energetic system where the energy flows, which is much like the veins, called the meridian system. And you can find the most recent information about that, and I mean recent as far as historically, from China. In any event, in ancient texts throughout China that they still use this energetic system today, that's what's often used in acupuncture and acupressure. In any event, you have a node, which is called your root chakra or your Muladhara chakra. And it's right down there at the base of your spine. Just so happens to be right around your sexual organ location. And when you start to feel urges in that area, I'll tell you something. Especially as you get higher and higher up Nofap. A lot of times, all those urges is pressure being built up in the system because of excess electricity. I'm literally going to call it electricity. So imagine you had a 110 volt system. Let's just imagine you had a 10 watt light bulb. Let's just say 10 watt light bulb, make it easy. If you have a 10 watt light bulb and you try to put, which is a very low light bulb, and you try to put a 40 watt light bulb, which is another low watt light bulb. If you try to put 40 watts of electricity that's meant for a 40 watt bulb through a 10 watt bulb, what's going to happen is the wires are going to agitate with pressure, and then eventually they may burst because there's just too much water. It's just not meant to carry those type of watts. So there'll be some pulsating in those wires before they break. It's the same thing with you. If you've been spilling out your seed through sex or masturbation for a long period of time, once the system starts to have to maintain that amount of sexual energy within it, there's going to be some pulsations, some movements throughout the system. It's going to be stretching, it's going to be growth. There's even a thing where, as let's just say you have 110 watts and you want to run a copper wire from a certain distance to somewhere else. There's often different types of copper wiring. It's called the gauge of the wire. How thick is that wire going to be? If it's wintertime, you may have some loss in electricity because it's cold. Therefore, you need to increase the gauge of the wire. If it's summertime, maybe not as much. If you're going 100 feet as opposed to 200 feet, there could be some loss. Therefore, you need a thicker gauge. So I'm saying all that just to say that there's gauges of wires that even carry the same voltage. Because if the gauge is thicker, you can carry more of that energy at a certain time. You are actually no different. That happens to you. When you start to feel these different urges, sometimes these different cravings, I've had people tell me that they feel sensations down there and movements down there. What that really is that is energy being held in a particular system, that system, although it was designed for it, has not been operating in that way. Therefore, it needs to stretch and it needs to grow. That's literally what happens to you. And once you start to develop a relationship with this energy and an understanding that you have an energetic system, it starts to become so much easier to reap the true benefits of Nofap because you start to understand. And I can tell you, by understanding that you have an energetic system, it causes you to somehow naturally start to develop a relationship with this energy. Now, that's just the one node that I talked about. You have nodes. They're called the 7 chakra system. They go up your spine, that go from there up, all the way up through your brain, past your third eye into your crown, right? And what happens is, the reason Nofap is so effective, and oftentimes we don't talk about it enough, is from a pure energetic standpoint. You are a battery. That's what you are. Not only do you have batteries within you, look at the alternating layers that are in your stomach, where the dantian is. But in any event, the alternating layers of different types of tissue, one that conducts electricity, one that holds electricity, literally the same way they make lead acid batteries today. In any event, your energy starts to rise, but you have an energetic system. So this energy that we call sexual energy, which is creative down there, by your sexual organs, what happens is, once that chakra, once that energy node starts to get full, guess what? The energy flows from down there and it starts to go up to the next energetic node. And then you'll feel the particular sensations associated with that node. Now, each of these energetic nodes are associated with a particular emotional state. So when that particular chakra or energetic node starts to open, along your journey, you may find yourself having the feelings and the thoughts associated with that energetic node. But we're not going to get into that today. We're going to talk purely from a technological standpoint. Once you start to understand your body more as a piece of technology, it becomes a lot easier to continue upon the path. Why? Because you know thyself. I'm not saying you're only a piece of technology and nothing else. You are a multidimensional being. But if you start to understand these different systems and how you operate down here upon the planet, it becomes a lot easier to manifest your dreams on this planet. In any event, the energy starts to move up. So as you cultivate and retain this energy, keep in mind that there's an energetic system. And as this energy moves up through the energetic system, it helps to heal the entire system. The reason the practice is so effective is because it heals it from the higher plane, from a higher vibration. Remember, energy is always moving from a higher state to a lower state. So, in this higher state, this higher vibratory oscillation, you are actually starting to cleanse. Your energetic system is filling up with more energy. Now, think about a dam, right? I remember I used to live in Australia, and I was living in Australia. I had this waterfall about a 6-minute walk behind my house. And I went there one day. It was one of the first moments that I started discovering it. And I used to walk and sit back there and meditate for years. But in any event, I went there. And I noticed that the waterfall was not flowing like it should. So I started looking around. I realized there was a bunch of these huge boulders, huge rocks that would definitely be considered boulders, blocking the path where the water was flowing. So with a little bit of strength and a little bit of ingenuity and some trees and what have we, I moved them out the way. And then the water just started flowing crazily, strongly, and blowing out all the stuff that was in its path, because now all of a sudden it gets to flow. Now, ironically, I went back there a couple of days later and it was plugged back up again, because I realized the people who lived closest to it, it was so loud that they were the ones blocking it, and they wanted it that way because it was too loud. It was keeping them up, so fair enough. But anyway, my point is that the same thing happens to you. When you allow the energy to flow freely throughout your energetic system, it starts to cleanse your energetic system. But think about the location of your spine. So many things are attached to it. That's a central energetic system. So many other things start to heal. Not only that, but remember, you're healing yourself from your higher vibratory state. And so as a result, based on the law of correspondence as taught in the Kabbalion, what's going to happen is the things that correspond to that higher vibratory state will cleanse themselves on the lower vibratory state. That's one of the reasons you get such amazing benefits simply by retaining your semen. Remember that the semen retention journey can't be separated from an energetic journey. You're going on an energetic journey. And if you go along that energetic journey knowing that, trust me, you will get more benefits. That's like you're going on a 7-day fast, but your 7-day fast is to cleanse your heart. Would it be good to understand that you have a heart? Sure. Or would it be even better to understand that you have a heart with veins and understand the entire circulatory system as a whole? You'd probably get more out of your 7 days if you knew that. And that's what I'm trying to get you to do with semen retention, with Nofap. When you go on this journey, please recognize that there's a whole energetic system, and that so-called sexual energy, that creative energy, is just one portion of it. It's the root, it's the base. And as that particular node starts to stretch, starts to oscillate, starts to rise, start to vibrate higher, what's going to happen is it's going to rise up. So allow it to do so. Allow it to do that. And don't necessarily believe that your urges are, your cravings are just you wanna have sex so bad, or you want to release so bad. Maybe it's not that. You have not yet conditioned your system to be able to withhold that amount of energetic charge. That's all it is. So once you allow your system to get used to that level of energetic charge, the system will grow. And what we're talking about here is your energy growing. And as your energy grows, the energetic system, which allows that energy to flow within it, is going to grow as well. It's the same. You think the body doesn't grow, even in adulthood? They've proven now that they were wrong when they said the brain is fully grown by a different age and it doesn't continue to grow. It grows. But something tangible that you can believe me about? If you're 50 years old and you actually start lifting, even though your hormones are a lot lower, if you're on a proper diet with enough energy for your muscles, which will be some carbohydrates and building blocks for you to grow, which would be your protein and your amino acids and what have we, you will actually start growing new muscle at the age of 50 or 60 or 70 or 80. So the point is, growth can happen. And the same thing happens with your energetic system. When you allow it to hold this energy, the system responds in the same way that muscles do. And they say, oh, is there more energy that we need to hold? We'll need to grow. But the same way sometimes when you lift, you get cramps, or the same way when you lift, you get soreness or delayed onset muscle soreness or muscle failure or what have we. The same thing happens with the energetic system. The energetic system is being stretched, it's being pushed. You know what I mean? You've been weakening it for so long, it didn't have to hold the energy for too long. But now it does. And now that it does, you may feel some uncomfortability or perceived uncomfortability with that. But if you can just hold out and be strong and recognize that these are not urges, but they're actually evidence that the practice is working. That's what it is. It's evidence that the practice is working and that your energy is growing, but it's still within that same energetic system. And just allow that energetic system to grow. Okay? That will benefit you tremendously. Go into the practice realizing that. So now that you've accepted that you do have an energetic system, and now that you understand that some of these cravings that you perceive yourself as happening are actually nothing more than evidence that your practice is working, I want to give you something that you can apply. I want you to be able to strengthen your energetic system, but I'm going to tell you something, and this is really beautiful. As you strengthen your energetic system, you can strengthen your nervous system as well. Strengthening your nervous system can change your entire life because your nervous system is correlated with how you think. It's your nervous system. It's your brain, your spine, your brain stem, and a couple other parts to it. If you can start to fix that, you can fix your entire life. So you should already be meditating when you're on Nofap. The reason that's so important is because when you get these lustful sensations or what have we, these lower vibratory ideas and what you know what I'm talking about, these urges, once you go to a state of meditation, it helps to cleanse that out. But not only does it cleanse it out, it also puts your brain in a different state and allows different hormones to fill up your brain to wash away some of the dopamine that you may have bathed your brain in thinking lustfully. It allows you to raise your vibration, and when you consistently raise your vibration, each time you go to that state, some of that higher value stays with you. So it's like you go back to the lust, and you start thinking you can't help yourself, but then when you meditate twice a day, you allow some of that to be cleansed, and you keep coming back until eventually you're cleaner, you start to vibrate higher. But a practice for you to be able to cleanse your energetic system and cleanse your nervous system at the same time is this. While you're sitting in a meditative state, which it doesn't have to be, but it should be at first. You can even do this as you're walking throughout the day. What you do is you pulse that energetic node. It should be a very slight impulse. Pulse your energetic nerve. The one that's down there in the base of your spine, your root chakra. It is real. It is real. And you can start to develop a connection with it. I want you to start to develop a connection with that. And how you develop a connection with it is pulse it. Picture yourself as an energetic being. You know you have a battery there. You actually have the ability to tap in to that battery, and you can just pulse it. What that's going to do is threefold. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to light up that energetic node that's there and send energy up to the other energetic nodes. It's going to be very slight. That means a lot because it helps cleanse that area that's around there, to energetically cleanse it. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to send energy up from that node into your other nodes, thereby not only allowing your energy to rise higher and higher into your chakras, but it's going to help wake that other chakra up as well and cleanse the system. Because once the flow starts to be renewed, once that energy begins flowing freely, any stagnant energies that shouldn't be there are going to begin to be removed. The third thing it's going to do is it's going to help you cleanse your nervous system. Yes, your nervous system. It will help you cleanse your nervous system because that energy is being shot up your spine. Your spine carries your cerebral spinal fluid, keyword cerebral spinal fluid, whereas your cerebellum and your cerebrum is in your brain. Your brain is part of your nervous system. So this energy flowing up the spine actually starts to cleanse the entire nervous system. And when the nervous system is cleansed, you start to perceive the world differently. And as you perceive the world differently, what happens is the world reacts differently, because the world's only ever been reacting to your expectations and perceptions. So once you start to perceive it differently, it starts to react differently. Once it starts to react differently, you start to expect differently, and so you start a brand new vortex and paradigm for yourself. All this from simply pulsing that area where the root chakra is in your spine. Now think about it. How could I describe to you how to move your fingers if you didn't know what your fingers were? Or move your feet if you didn't know where they were? To give you something that's similar, try right now to feel energetic movement, a pulse in your liver. You firstly have to know exactly where your liver is, and you probably don't have regular contact with your liver, but you can. So that's what I'm saying. You start to develop a relationship with this energetic node. And when that starts to happen, because it's the root node, everything starts to change. So that right there is a hack that will help you dramatically on your journey. We just can't go throughout this journey saying, hey, I'm on semen retention, I'm retaining my semen, and that's it. You'll get some benefits. But if you really want to maximize the benefits that you get from this journey, one, recognize that it's an energetic journey. Two, start to develop a relationship with this energetic system and understand that you have an energetic system. Three, start to develop a relationship with this energy itself that's in this energetic system. And a way to do that is by pulsing that energetic node that you have down there. I'm teaching you how to strengthen your energetic system. You're only going to get that a portion of it with Nofap. But with Nofap, remember, again, it's not about just semen retention. It's about trying to reach a higher state, a higher level. And you can do that by using these tools, strengthening these nodes in your body. It's going to help that sexual energy that you're cultivating to rise a lot higher, a lot easier, and a lot faster, and to help you. And that's why this is more so of an advanced practice. I've just asked you to begin to start to move a part of your body that you may not even know exists. So focus on it. So pretend you were meditating right now. You would maintain your awareness with the silence, but you just feel a faint impulse in that area. And then you'll wait about 7 seconds, and you'll do it again. And each time, you let your mind go back to the silence, back to your breathing, into your mantra or whatever it is that you're using. But then you'll feel a faint impulse right there. Then back to the state of nothingness. Wait 6 or 7 seconds and feel another faint impulse. Over time, you'll be able to feel the impulse raise from that area up through your spine, up through your head. If you get any jitters, any movements, any involuntary movements, any pulsating, any vibrations or electricity feelings down there, just continue with it. Understand that if it's something that could potentially harm you or what have we, take proper precautions. But other than that, your body will know, your awareness will know. Just continue to do that to awaken these parts of the body and help strengthen the energetic system. It will make a world of difference in your journey. The reason it also helps is because it also helps to transmute. So think about it like this. Picture it like you have a balloon down there, right? And when you pulse that balloon, you're helping to stretch that balloon a little bit. And as that balloon is stretched, it can hold more energy. So one of two things is going to happen. Either that balloon becomes stronger and it pulses more energy, or it sends energy up to the other chakra because it's not at a state where it can hold it yet. So either way, you're sending the energy up, or you're allowing that root chakra to hold more energy, which is eventually going to strengthen the entire system. So stick to that. Let me know the benefits you get, which I suspect there will be several. Please feel free to ask questions if you have them. And thank you again for tuning in to another